Welcome to Aargau in German-speaking Switzerland. Behind its peaceful landscape lies a burning debate launched by the initiators of the referendum scheduled for November the 30th in Switzerland. Among them is the Effingen village mayor, a member of the Green Party. Andreas Thommen is a leader of the Ecopop association. Its campaign to limit immigration to 0.2% of the population per year. Its aim is to curb the environmental impact of population growth, the highest in Europe due to immigration.
The ecological balance has long been destroyed in Switzerland. We want to preserve nature. Is it worth it in the name of economic success to put concrete everywhere and not leave any other choice for our children? To leave as a legacy to our children a country which is completely dependent on the outside, whether in terms of food, energy or raw materials. I'm very clear that that's not a world I want to leave to my children.
Ecopop's proposal has stirred an already heated controversy. In February, the Swiss voted for an initiative launched by the UDC, the Swiss' most conservative right-wing party that established quotas for foreigners, though without quantifying limits. The new proposal wants to limit the number of immigrants to 16,000 per year, 5 times less than today.
This is a disaster. We simply cannot be excluded from the rest of Europe. We're at the centre of Europe, and we cannot close our borders. We agree that it's necessary to limit the arrival of so many people compared to the population and size of the country, but there's a limit to that. This is too restrictive.
It's becoming almost a little xenophobic, I think. There are lots of people who come here just to take advantage of Switzerland, because we opened our doors to everyone. Many people come here and don't do anything. They just take advantage.
Switzerland now has 8 million inhabitants, a quarter of whom are foreigners. As Europe's most densely populated country, Ecopop campaigners believe Switzerland cannot afford more demographic pressure. The group's spokesperson insists the initiative is in no way xenophobic and is fighting against the logic of exponential growth. And the immigration threshold requested by Ecopop is still higher than in other European countries.
It's not a racial issue. It's really a problem of numbers. With 73,000 more people coming in each year, it represents 40,000 more homes to build and 56,000 more cars. That's what immigration induced in 2013. We just want to reduce the number of people allowed in the country to have a lesser impact on the landscape.
Arguments the Swiss government rejects amid fear that Ecopop's initiative will compromise the bilateral agreements that govern trade between Switzerland and the EU. Based on freedom of movement, the agreements have already been questioned after the February vote. If Ecopop is successful, that will create turmoil for business, according to one of the heads of Swiss Economy, the country's main business federation.
Concretely, it means that our companies will have difficulties hiring staff, since the quota which is set is extremely low. It's not even enough to absorb the demand in terms of political refugees. And on the other hand, with the EU, we're already in a relatively difficult situation since the vote on February the 9th. We have to find a compromise solution, and it will take some time. So, a second consecutive vote on the same subject in the same year, I think, will pummel discussions with the European Union for a very long time.
With low unemployment and a lack of higher education graduates or skilled labour, Switzerland's nationals alone cannot meet the demand of enterprises for workforce. President of the Federation of Swiss Trade Association, Jean-Marc Probst, runs a machinery business. The construction sector is largely dependent on foreign labour, he says.
The last mechanics I hired are French cross-border workers. I also hired Italians, people who are in markets where there's not full employment. And I hired people who are highly skilled, people that I cannot find on the Swiss market. So for me to develop and maintain my business, taking into account that some are retiring, I need this foreign labour.
The medical sector is among those worried by the Ecopop initiative. We visit the University Hospital of the Canton of Vaud in Lausanne. With some 10,000 employees, foreigners make up half the workforce. The risk of compromising the bilateral agreements, which among others regulate research exchanges, is added to that of not being able to tap into the pool of foreign labour.
It would be absolutely disastrous for us because the hospital would just not be able to function. Beyond that, research and medicine are purely international, so we will no longer attract foreign researchers or doctors because they will no longer have interest in working in a country where they cannot access European subsidies and the global world. But in addition, the risk is that our own Swiss researchers won't want to stay here.
2/3 of migrants in Switzerland come from European Union countries. Since the implementation of bilateral agreements, their number is constantly increasing. The crisis has reinforced the phenomenon, and many companies are abusing the system, according to Ecopop supporters.
If there's a choice of 300 million workers in Europe, if there's a choice of 50 million unemployed people in Europe who are prepared to come to Switzerland to work for €3.50 an hour on the cheap, this is paradise, of course. The employers are all for it. But this is only a very selfish view of companies.
An accusation aimed particularly at firms which have delocalized and also benefit from low taxes and low labour legislation. Realities that vary according to regions, however. Better higher education policies and higher taxes for businesses would be better options than to curb immigration too strictly, argues one of the heads of Switzerland's largest unions. If bilateral agreements are compromised, employers may rely more on short-term contracts without any social protections, she says.
In the past, Switzerland has established the status of seasonal workers, and people who came to work could not bring their families with them. This is not possible with EU citizens, since we have these agreements. European migrants now have the right to continue living in Switzerland. For example, if they lose their job after a few years working here, which other migrants don't have. It would be a big step backwards in terms of migrants' rights.
Whether the initiative is successful or not, there is no doubt that immigration will remain at the heart of the debate in the campaign for the Swiss parliamentary elections in 2015.